What's going on, good people? So this is my review of The Shape of Water, which is written and directed by Guillermo del Toro. And the movie, it's a fantasy sci-fi. It takes place in Baltimore, Maryland during the Cold War, which is right after World War II. And okay, the actors in the movie is Michael Shannon. He plays the villain, Strickland. He goes by the name Strickland and he plays the villain. Doug Jones is the creature, and I'll be calling him Creature. And Sally Hawkins is Eliza Esposito. And then there's Octavia Spencer. She plays Zelda. And you've seen her in movies like The Help and different other shows. So Zelda and Eliza, they are the cleaning ladies. They work up in this U.S. government. It's like a laboratory. I don't know if the whole building is a laboratory or just part. There's a part in the building that's a laboratory. Somewhat like Area 51 or whatever. So Michael Shannon, who plays Strickland, he captured the creature in South Africa and brought it back to the U.S., put it in the laboratory, and it's holding it against its own will for whatever reason. He tortures the creature because the creature doesn't speak. He doesn't speak any language or anything. Well, Eliza and Zelda, they play the cleaning ladies, and they know that, they are briefed as anyone who works for the government, even the blue-collar workers as themselves that are in the cleaning, they work at the custodial department. They know that there are areas that are off limits. But in this movie, you'll see that Eliza, she becomes curious as to what they're holding in the laboratory. And so she makes her way down there at some point, and she sees a creature that's being held in a huge aquarium. So the creature makes its way to the glass, and she comes face to face with the creature, and she put her hands on the glass, and he put his fins on the glass, and they just make eye contact, and it just starts from there to where she is just like mesmerized by what she see, and she wants to see the creature like more often. So she has this routine every morning before she goes to work to boil eggs to go along with her sandwich to take to work for lunch, where she starts to take the eggs into the laboratory and she leaves them for the creature. That's her way of getting more acquainted with the creature. And they start to bond, and she would play music for the creature and sit alongside his aquarium and lay the eggs up top where he can come above the water and get the eggs. And then he would, like touch her hand, and they would just look at each other and make googly eyes at one another. And, it's just something different. It's a fantasy sci-fi, and the movie is really based on her falling in love with the creature, because she plays the role as a person that's a loner. Like I say, she just goes to work. She cleans up at the laboratory. Her and Zelda, they're good friends. They work good together. And Zelda kind of warns her, like, you got to be careful with that, and you should leave that alone, and don't go in there milling around in that laboratory. We just come in here to clean up and leave. But Zelda kind of figures out, like, yeah, she coming to work, putting on makeup and all this kind of stuff now. And she done fell in love with the creature. And Zelda was like, how? And she ends up coming up with a plan with her caretaker, or whoever the man is that she lives with, to rescue the creature, because she's listening to a conversation, and she overhears the agent talking with the laboratory director. And the laboratory director, he also done grown to, like the creature, and he looking out for the best interest of the creature for as long as they have him holding him captivity for whatever reason. So he doesn't want to kill it, and he doesn't feel like it should be mistreated just because they don't understand the language it speaks. But they did find out that he was praised as a god from wherever it come from. So I guess the agent was like, well, it's not doing us no good. He doesn't benefit anything to us. We can't do nothing with it, so we're going to kill it. So he had meetings with the Russians, and they were like just trying to come up with a way to figure out what they're going to do with it. And I guess they came up with just go ahead on and kill it. And then the laboratory director was like, what sense does it make to kill it? Just let it go free, or it's gonna die if you keep torturing him with the taser stick and stuff like that. So she just like fell in love with it and come up with a plan to rescue it, take it to the docks after days of hard rain, because it needed to be in a certain, I guess the water had to be a certain temperature, and of course it had to be released into salt water. At some point in the movie, Eliza, she rescues the creature, brings it to her home, and puts it in a bathtub, and her caretaker, whoever the guy is, they go and, stock up on salt to pour in the tube to keep the creature alive, and he starts to get kind of sick. So they know they can't keep him there long, and then they kind of, if y'all ever remember the movie called Splice, which I love, because like I said, I love fantasy movies, fantasy sci-fi also. At some point, the creature is going to want to mate. And of course, she was, to me, I'm thinking that Eliza was a virgin. And with her somewhat falling in love with this creature, they end up making love. But the creature also became hungry at some point in the movie, and he ate the cat head off. He bit the cat head off, and it was gore, but they didn't show it. So the movie was like hit and miss. And I seen that Rotten Tomatoes gave the movie 97%, and the viewers gave it 75%, so they can put me in there 75%, because the movie had a lot of hit and miss as far as the gore scenes and the love making scenes. We know that she wanted to make love. She wanted to be loved. She wanted to be wanted by someone. She didn't just want to be someone who exists and can't talk, because she was mute, but she can hear, and she was smart. But the heart wants what the heart wants, and she fell in love with this creature. And you just got to go watch the movie. You got to go watch the movie. I don't want to say too much, but it is a few spoilers. And, yeah, I enjoyed it, but I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Because like I said, it have some hit and miss scenes. She went all the way with the creature, but they didn't show it. And I just wish that they would have had to add that on to the movie.